This video is sponsored by Audible. That's right, they are back with the amazing deal from last week. Signing up in the link below will give you a free trial month and also a free audiobook. For any book, podcast, news, or comedy lover out there, you definitely do not want to miss out on this offer. Their library is constantly updating, so you will always have something new to pick from, and each month that you are a member, you will get a credit for any book in their collection of over 200,000. So, if you want to support the channel and claim your free book, be sure to check out that link after the video. By now, most everyone here has heard of the extremely popular video game Among Us. It's been around for over 2 years, but only up until recently has its fame skyrocketed on platforms like YouTube and Twitch. This is due to numerous reasons, such as the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic that seems to only be getting worse each week, and popular streamers like SodaPoppin' and Pokimane, and YouTubers like PewDiePie, Markiplier, and MrBeast. With this massive amount of internet attention, there are bound to be some types of drama that are associated with it. The PUBG and Fortnite lawsuits, Star Wars Battlefront 2 loot box fiasco, Destiny and XP throttling are just a few examples of popular games getting into a type of bad publicity that forever casted a dark shadow over them. And now, Among Us seems to be the next game in line to meet this similar fate. But how? How did a simple, fun party game become the target of a malicious hacker? What exactly did the presidential election have to do with a game about secretly killing people? And most importantly, who really is Eris? Join me as I dive deep into figuring out the who and why of how this seemingly random act of hacking set off a chain of events that would shock the community and cause the developers to urge players to avoid public lobbies. This is the still ongoing story of Eris, the true imposter. It all started with a message. Seemingly, clearly spam, something that nobody would give a second thought to. This is an online game after all, so of course there are going to be the occasional person offering around free iPads or hot sexy moms in your surrounding area. But these spam messages quickly became something much more than just annoying text. From simply one person copy and pasting a message led to many more, and within a matter of hours, millions of people's in-game chats were being flooded with these same messages, followed by threats against those who didn't follow the message's instructions, which directed people to go and subscribe to Eris on YouTube. And if those who got the message refused, then their devices would be hacked. Simply ignoring so would cause the game to become unplayable, literally. After receiving the message, players would not be able to join any game, regardless of closing out and restarting it. Every time the message was received, all players in the lobby would meet this fate. What seemed to be the only solution was to uninstall and reinstall the game, yet the damage had already been done. The problem with this hack was that anyone who had experienced it would unknowingly pass it on to everyone else they would play with, so much like a real-life virus, it began to spread like wildfire. And by the time the dust had settled, over 4.5 million players had experienced the wrath of Eris. Unfortunately, it didn't stop here. The agenda for Eris became very clear, and it wasn't just to promote their YouTube channel. It was clearly politically driven as well. I don't think that there is any type of coincidence that these hacks occurred 2 weeks before the presidential election. With another wave of messages coming in, telling people to, again, subscribe to their channel, but to now also vote for Trump 2020. Failure to do so will cause the player's phone to get hacked and blow up. Now, I am not sure if they meant this literally or figuratively, but I am going to lean on the latter One, since this is not a Mission Impossible movie, and two, I think that they meant in the sense of flooding players' games with further spam messages. Also during this time, players began to report that when they would get these messages, that their games would go full black screen, and some even reported that they were not able to even close the game out and had to turn off their devices in order to get out of it. This type of hack clearly, obviously, is breaking several laws, doing this with invasion of privacy, damage to personal property, and several others, but to those responsible behind this hack, it clearly didn't bother them. But why? What is the actual point of any of this? Nobody is gaining any form of money by doing this. So, was this entire operation solely to push political views onto people who were just trying to fix communications and swipe their admin cards? It had to be more. I needed to keep digging. Turns out, there was more, and none of it was good. When more messages started appearing in-game, and now with a Discord link included, it led many to click away just to voice how annoyed they were with this hacker. Unfortunately, what people reported seeing appeared to be from the very dark corners of the internet. Animal abuse, gore, violent pornography, racist images, and more took over people's screens when they went to the Discord. Again, with the message, subscribe to Eris on YouTube. By now, Among Us developers Innersloth had received the reports of the hack and made a statement alerting people that they in fact knew about it and were working hard on trying to resolve the issue, and until then, recommended players to use private lobbies with people they know to avoid being impacted by this hack. The name Eris was the only topic players could seemingly talk about, in both negative and positive ways. You of course had the very few people impressed by his skills and wondering how he did it. And then you had the overwhelming majority ready to crucify him for the trouble the hack was causing. The anger was warranted too. Nobody wants to have their phone altered without permission, but let alone when they are simply trying to pass the time and play a game, completely minding their own business. Yet here, millions of people were in a situation where they were concerned if their personal information was going to be stolen. Did the hack from the game go further, and was it able to actually infect their phones? Which in turn led many to wonder if this gave the hacker access to credit cards or personal addresses. The lengths to which a hack like this can go seem impossible to actually track. There were people on Reddit voicing how they had been having panic attacks that their IPs were going to be used by the hacker. The entire thing was blowing up way out of proportion. And at this point, people began to discuss the legal ramifications this would have. Over the past few years, online harassment laws have become more strict, and this no doubt falls into harassment. Add that with the fact that around 4.9 million players had been affected by this, and you start to realize how serious all of this was getting. And for what? To promote a YouTube channel? Why? Surely there are means to go about growing your channel other than becoming a pain in the ass to millions of people. Short answer? Yes. Aaron did all of this to grow his YouTube channel. And it worked. When the hack began on October 22nd, his channel had around 312 subscribers and had been around since September of 2017. Then, the very next day after the hacks, his channel explodes, and for the next week, he gained around 3,000 to 4,000 subscribers a day. Something that is very difficult to do, especially when you are a small channel. But those numbers, they're dirty numbers. I narrow my eyes at you, Eris. Shame on you for going as low as hacking people's games just to increase your subscriber count. There are so many talented channels out there that deserve that attention, but since they don't want to go the route of actually committing a crime to gain subs, they're sitting there wondering why. The only other reason behind Aaron's hack was just to influence players to vote for Donald Trump. I am not sure entirely how hacking someone's game and then telling them to do something would work in your favor. I mean, yeah, I get the threat there, But how would Eris actually know if these people did in fact vote for Trump? The entire thing just seems so backwards. If you're going to go to this amount of trouble to make people vote for someone, why not just hack the election? It's not like anyone is going to talk about voter fraud anyway. Eris actually gave an interview with Eurogamer, in which he goes on to state that he created the bot in less than a day, and by the time of the interview, he had over 50 people helping him carry out this hack, creating his very own botnet. There were rumors here and there that 2 days after the interview that the botnet had grown to 200 people, yet that again is more rumor than anything else. What was confirmed, however, was that he and his team had managed to hack servers in both North America and Europe. This caused a discussion in the community on if Eris was in fact that good of a hacker, or if the security of Inner Sloth was just that simple to get past. While we may not know that answer, we do know that the developers have worked very hard to improve things, and eventually released an update that seemed to eject Eris and his followers into space. Seemingly as quickly as Eris Loris showed up, he disappeared, with no channel uploads in over 3 weeks, and no mention of any more hacks in the past several weeks as well. Inner Sloth hasn't said anything relating to this on Twitter lately either, so for the time being, things seem to be back to how they were. It is no doubt that Eris did this just to promote his own YouTube channel and further push his political beliefs, but the end goal of scaring people into submission didn't work. And even now, as we speak, the community is moving past this incident and going back to destroying asteroids, watching surveillance cameras, and fixing wiring panels. The great hack of Among Us in 2020 seems to be over, at least for now. But if the hack was to ever occur again, would the identity of the person responsible be easier to spot, or will the players be left to wonder that there is someone sinister among us? I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little different than my normal content, but I figured this would be something enjoyable for many of you, as I know the gaming community here is very strong. I do have one thing to ask of all of you though. Please nobody go try to find his Discord or YouTube channel and say hateful or negative things to him. I am in no way defending him, I just don't want this community to stoop down to his level and give his platform any more attention. Hit that subscribe button if you're not a member of this growing and awesome community, and leave me a like if you enjoyed what you saw. I will see all of you in the next video. Stay safe out there, friends. Good night.